SW2.1.2 profile untitled scenes untitled window auto stop no action available button.
Alright, we should be live. I'm going to, before we do anything, let me check because my phone is where I'm going to be reading the chats too. Yeah, let me check YouTube. Which, I never got an email in my inbox, which I usually get an email to as a notification to let me know. Which was weird, but I haven't done this in a minute, so something has changed, probably. It's been a minute since I've streamed on YouTube. Okay. Okay, well, that is weird. Why can my desktop audio, it's capturing that. Why is it not capturing the FaceTime call?
Duration. 300 start recording button. Add remove configure transition. Start virtual camera button. Configure virtual camera button. Studio mode button. Settings button. Add button. Remove button. Properties button. Menu button. Zero pin. No action available. Uncheck checkbox. Horizontal layouts button. Advanced audio properties button. Options menu button. Options menu button. Options menu button. Advanced audio properties button. Advanced audio properties dialog. Advanced audio properties status. Volume. Percent uncheck checkbox. Mono. Balance. Sync offset. Audio monitoring tracks. Image. MacOS active. Zero volume for macOS audio active. Zero volume for macOS audio capture. Separate. Mono balance for macOS audio capture. Uncheck checkbox. L. 50 balance for macOS audio capture. Slider. R. Zero. Sync offset. Monitor off. Menu button. Track 1 check. Track 2 check checkbox. Track 3 check check. Track 4 check. Track 5 check checkbox. Track 6 image. macOS active. Zero volume. Mono balance for L. Dim 50. R. Dim 0. Monitor track image. Mic active. Zero. Mono balance for L. 50 balance for mic slash dim slider.
That's weird. Talk. Just say something. Because I'm trying to figure something out. It's capturing everything else from my desktop, but it's not capturing your audio.
R. Dim 0. Sync offset. Monitor off. Track 1. Track 2 check check. Track 5 check. Active. Close button. Active sources only check checkbox. Track 6 check checkbox. Active sources only check checkbox. Close button. Close button. Now in OBS 32.1.2 profile untitled scenes on Finder. FaceTime window end button.
Okay, let me see if I go to the FaceTime call, if that changes anything. I find that so weird. Why is it not capturing your sound? Why doesn't it capture FaceTime sound? Okay.
OBS. Finder. Telltale. FaceTime. OBS. OBS 32.1 horizontal layout. Zero pin. Menu properties. Remove. Add button. Settings. Studio mode button. Configure start virtual transition properties. No action available button.
I wonder if I have to add it as a separate source.
Remove. Add start recording button. 300 duration. Separate. Start. Add remove transition. Start configure studio mode button. Settings button. Add button. Remove button. Properties button. Remove button. Add button. Menu 15 items. Browser. Capture card color. Capture card device. Browser.
Capture
card device.
Capture card device. That's not it.
Color.
Image.
Image slideshow.
MacOS
audio capture.
None of these are it. macOS audio capture. I've already added macOS audio capture.
macOS screen capture.
macOS screen capture.
Media.
Media.
Scene.
Scene.
Siphon client.
Siphon
Text
client.
3.2. Video capture device.
Video capture device.
Horizontal clear. No action available. Labs on top. Group. Horizontal clear. No action. Group. Force video. Text. Siphon client.
Let me try media.
Scene. Media. Media. Make source cancel button. Okay button.
Well, you just left the call because it fucking died.
Cancel. Make source visible. Checkbox. Add existing radio one. Media. Insertion and create new selected radio one. Create new selected radio. Media. Add existing. Make source visible. Check. Cancel button. Okay button. Make source. Add existing radio one. Media. Create new select. Media. Add existing. Make source. Cancel button. Okay button.
Let me try this. See if this fixes the sound.
Properties for media dialog. Close local file. Checkbox. Local file. Edit text. Blank. Browse button. Uncheck checkbox. Restart playback when source becomes active. Checkbox. Use hard recording available. Uncheck checkbox. Show nothing play. Close file when active. Close the file when source is not being displayed. Close. Show nothing. Use split. Edit. Local. Lower. Power. Zoom. Minimize. Dim. Close button. Close button. Minimize. Zoom. Power. Local. Edit. Use. Show nothing. Close file. Close the speed. 100. 100. Wave file. Apply. F. Allows default. Cancel. Okay button. Cancel button.
Okay, that just adds a
Now
media.
72.1.2 profile. Untitled. Scenes. Untitled window.
Okay, so now we're waiting on him to join back, but I'm just going to talk about what we're going to do here on this stream. Why I'm trying to figure out what's happening. So, in today's stream, I'm going to be me and the man of 1,000 films, Brody here. He's going to introduce himself once he gets back on the call. Gets back on the call. Did I say that correctly? I think I did. We're going to be ranking our top 10 albums. Our top 10 albums of all time. So, of course, his fucking phone died. He had to put it back on the charger, so... Yeah, so we're just waiting on him. But I don't know why FaceTime, because this is the first time I've ever streamed on a Mac, so I'm trying this out. But I don't know why FaceTime is just, like, FaceTime audio itself is not going through the, live stream, audio capture, which is very weird. That I can capture my desktop audio and stuff, but it's not capturing the FaceTime, which...
Remove button. Properties button. Menu button.
I'm going to...
FaceTime. Finder. FaceTime. Oh, FaceTime. FaceTime window. Brody. Message button. Call button. FaceTime button. Mail dim button. FaceTime button. Actions available.
It's not ringing on my Mac for whatever reason, so I'm going to
Call
have
button.
to
FaceTime
FaceTime here.
Actions available. Now in FaceTime window. FaceTime video button.
Yo. Yeah. I gotta... I'm still trying to... I told them what we were doing, that we were ranking the 10 albums with you. But let me see if that actually fixed my audio, which, if it didn't, I'm gonna be mad. Now, why doesn't it capture FaceTime audio? No, it's on my laptop. No, but I have to share it through the stream, and it's sharing everything else, but it won't share FaceTime audio. Yeah, let's just I can do that, because then I can turn off the screen capture and the audio capture. I don't have to worry about it. Let's just do that. It's not gonna be as clear as sound, but we can just do that, and I can figure out the Mac thing. Oh fuck! You know what it is? I think. I know what I need to do. I'll explain it to you when I get on the phone.
Button. Video comment space. J portrait mode button. Rotate camera microphone more end button. FaceTime window group. 12 items. Brody text. Actions available.
So guys, we're gonna add him on the phone. Yo. Are you there? That's weird. Yo. That was weird. There was no sound the first time.
What do you mean?
There was no, like, sound coming out of the phone at all.
Yeah, that is weird.
But now we should be good. First, let me...
OBS. Finder. OBS.
I'm gonna just disable this desktop audio, because we're not gonna really need it.
Menu one. Zero hidden. No action. Horizontal layouts button. Advanced audio options. Menu one. Options. Menu one. Advanced horizontal. Zero. Menu one. Properties button. Remove button. Add button. Settings button. Studio mode button. Configure virtual start virtual transition. Remove. Add configurable start recording button. 300 duration. Auto stop. No action. Stop streaming button. Menu one. Enable monitoring. Uncheck. Mute. Media. Uncheck. Enable monitoring. Uncheck. Checkbox. Mute. macOS screen capture. Uncheck. Checkbox. Enable mute. macOS screen capture. Uncheck. Check. Enable mute. macOS audio capture. Uncheck. Checkbox. Check. Enable mute. Mic slash aux. Uncheck. Checkbox.
Okay, that's muted now. So we should be good. I think I figured... You know what it is, I think? Why it's not capturing the audio? Brody.
What?
But you know why it's not capturing the audio?
Why?
It's because, I need to download... I think I need to download a plugin... I need to download a plugin that's, that allows me to capture FaceTime audio on Mac on OBS.
Oh.
Because it just won't do it automatically for whatever reason on stream.
Yeah, we need to get that.
So I have to figure that out the next time I stream on YouTube. But yeah, guys, sorry guys, this is my first time trying to stream on my new MacBooks, and I'm trying to learn how to use Mac, and so I'm trying to figure this all out. So sorry for all the technical issues that we had like the first 10-15 minutes, but we finally got things figured out. I'm just going to join on the phone, and we're just going to do this way for this time. But anyway, we have, as you can see by the title, we have the man himself, the man of 1,000 films, and the reason why he's called the man of 1,000 films. You wanna explain that to the channel?
Yeah, sure. What's up, guys? So I will say this: if you go looking for my channel right now, you won't find it because the channel itself doesn't exist. But I'm making videos for it, so I'm doing that. But my channel is called House of 1,000 Films, and I am called the Man of 1,000 Films because I watch terrible, crappy horror and sci-fi creature features and slashers, and I talk about them, and I rank them, and I talk about, like, I do box set overviews, and I do album and CD reviews and stuff. I mean, if you like that sort of thing, if you like rap music, that of the underground or core variety, if you like horror movies of the bad variety, if you like box set overviews, I recommend checking out my channel, and I'll have Jason give you some updates on it from his channel.
Yeah, it's sort of like my channel, but I don't, well, on my second channel I sort of talk about movies, but I don't really talk about horror movies and stuff like that. But on this channel,
Right.
I review albums, I talk everything about music. Of course, you know, I create my own music. But yeah. So now I'm going to talk about before I talk about that, I'm just going to see if there's anyone watching. There hasn't been anyone that's tuned in yet when I was trying to figure out the technical difficulties, but let's see if there's anyone that's tuned in now.
Here's some crinkle in the background of eating some cotton candy. I just got back from Golden Corral. Yum.
Okay, no one has joined yet. I don't I don't know if anyone's gonna watch right now. Oh, because a lot of people with at least my streams, they sort of just watch it. They sort of watch it after it becomes a video. But we're still doing this anyways, because why not? But yes, in today's stream, we're gonna be ranking our top 10 favorite albums of all time. And I already did a video on this probably about a year ago. But this is before I really got into collecting physical music and CDs and all that stuff, which I already made a video about that. So go check that out. Go check that out on my channel if you haven't already. And but in this video, I'm gonna be making more of a updated list of my top 10 favorite albums, and then Brody here is gonna tell us about his list of top 10 albums that he likes of all time. Uh, so most of his albums are going to be rap albums. I'm sort of gonna.
All of them will be rap.
Yeah, all of them will be rap. Um, so a lot of them will be horrorcore sort of stuff, underground sort of things. Um, there's probably going to be some mainstream stuff on there. And then of course, mine albums are gonna really vary because if you know me, I listen to a lot of music, so a lot of it's gonna be rock. But of course, we're gonna have electronic stuff. You might see a country album on there. Uh, you never know with my list. So, some of these albums that I put on my list, some of these albums I'm gonna have on my list are albums that I did have on there for the original video, but a lot of them are updated because I've either found new stuff or whatnot. So I think the way this is gonna work is is that I'm gonna start with my top 10, or I'm gonna start with my number 10, and then Brody's gonna do his number 10, and then when we get to our number 9, then number 9, so on and so forth.
Sounds good. I do have a question going into this there, Jason.
What?
You probably don't, but if you were to, what rap album would you have in your honorable mentions?
Probably Booming Words from Hell by Esham.
Hell yeah. I don't know if that one's actually on my list, but that'll be an honorable mention of mine for sure.
Yeah. I know that it at least I would say it's in my honorable mentions, but it's not like so far up in my honorable mentions that it's probably going to be mentioned. And because I knew that I knew that you were going to probably mention it, so.
Yeah.
But, without further ado, I didn't really like have this list all well thought out. Like I know my top 5 albums, but I sort of just gonna go with this as I go, and see how this goes here. I was just looking at the messages. Yeah, it just says one watching, which is just me looking at the chat. But, let's start with my number 10. So, my number 10 is going to be random access well, basically, oh yeah. Before we actually start talking about this, make sure, Brody, when you like name, I know all your albums are gonna be rap, but make sure you at least like probably at the beginning of after you say the name of the album, the name of the artist, sort of mention like what sort of subgenre it is, so people know.
Oh, I got you.
But Yeah, let's actually get started. So my number 10 on this list is Random Access Memories by Daft Punk. And I actually haven't got a chance to show Brody this album because I wanted to wait till Damien got on here because this is also one of his favorite albums. And and you guys know Damien. If you watch the channel, you know Damien. You've seen him leave comments on my videos and stuff. He's been on like a couple of the live streams back then. But anyway, Random Access Memories, Daft Punk. So this album is an electronic uh, album. If you know anything about electronic music, you know about Daft Punk. They're one of the electronic sort of legends that came around in the 2000s. Uh, so Random Access Memories was their 2013 album, and I think it was their final album. Yeah, it was their final album before they broke up. And this album has 13 tracks. Some of my favorite tracks are "Touch," and then of course you got like hit songs like um, uh, "Get Lucky." That is just great hit song with the Pharrell Williams feature. Then you have other songs like "Schizo." Um, there's a lot of great tracks. "Give Life Back to Music," one of my favorite songs off this. Um, and then sort of the Jarjo sort of tribute track, which is a tribute to an artist that was like a 70s. He was pretty much the inventor of house music, and he was one of the great like electronic artists. So I like that Daft Punk sort of did a tribute to this guy on this album. I'm trying to think of other tracks that are really standouts. Doing It Right, which is just a vibe, sort of like dance sounding track. Uh, the last track is great as well. Overall, just a really damn good uh, album, and I also have it on CD. Uh, but yeah, Random Access Memories by Daft Punk is it is the great Daft Punk, it is a great album by them, and I really need to check out their other albums, that is something I need to do. But great album to end off the career of Daft Punk, and just a great vibe. So that's pretty much what I have to say about that.
Okay. You want me to go now?
Yeah.
Okay. So, in number 10 spot, we have an album from 2002 called Movies for the Blind by Cage. Now, Cage is is not exactly horror, but like it's what you get that's in between, like gangster rap. It's basically in the style of old Eminem.
Yeah, it's sort of in that style because Eminem did sort of make some horrorcore sort of esque albums, but
But
yeah,
like that's kind of what we're. This is an 18-track project with 4 skits, or I mean, with an intro, 3 skits, and 14 other tracks. You've got production from Necro, which you're gonna see production from him in another thing in my list. You've got some features with Mr. Eon and Copyright. Some standout tracks, as Jason will remember, is the classic that is Agent Orange.
yes, that is the probably the most iconic track there.
Yeah, if people know who Cage is, they mostly know him for Agent Orange. That was like the hit track. He made it in 1997 and put it on this album. It's another great track is the soundtrack, but I also recommend Among the Sleep and The Suicidal Failure. It's a 4-track run in the middle of the album, and it's probably one of the greatest 4-track runs in an album. However, I have this intense spot because you're not going to be wowed all the way through the album. It's not a masterpiece. There are songs that are just kind of like very forgettable. But Cage as a rapper is just he's a very enjoyable like person to listen to music from. He's got a lot of like energy in what he does, and I have it at 10 because this is an album with great songs, but in the end, the whole album doesn't stand out. But I recommend giving it a listen.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just checking.
We got anybody in here? While he's checking, I'll tell you real quick that my channel, when it comes up, we're going to we play games like movie Jenga, where whatever movie falls off the stack, you have to watch the wheel, which will spin the wheel of names and do that. And we'll do some games. We got box set overviews. We got basic movie reviews. We're gonna be doing everything rap and horror movie and beyond. We're gonna be doing. I have so many movies in my collection. I'm sitting in front of the shelves right now. I have 1,208 movies.
Can't do math.
Here we go. I can't speak.
Yeah.
I know the number.
But but yeah. Anyway, Mason said he was commenting on the Daft Punk album. He said peak punk.
Oh, cool! We got Mason in here.
But yeah. But okay, I'm gonna talk about my number 9 spot now. My number 9 is an album that came out this year that I recently showed Brody, and he thought it was pretty good, and I think it's really good. And that album is Dark Matter by Jacob Ozot.
Dark Matter.
Yes.
You showed me really recently.
Yeah, it was very recent that I showed you. This came out January of this year, and this is by a metal artist. He does a lot of instrumental tracks, but this is his third album that he's done with vocals. And he does all the production, he does all the songwriting, everything creative about this. He had someone else do the mixing, but that's it. Everything else was done by him. And some people that watch the channel probably already know this, but if you don't, there's actually a story that comes to this album, because I did a review on it, and Jacob Ozot, the man, I think Jacob Ozot is subscribed to my channel, so if you're watching, shout out to you, man, and your music's great. But I did a review on this. I did a review on this album, and he actually took the time and watched it and commented on my video, and that was really really great of him. And in the next video I made, I gave him a little shout out. But great album, really great album. I will say there are, of course, like, and this is why I have it in a 9th spot, because there are like some tracks that are sort of like, like Wait, which is track 9, is good. None of the songs on this are bad, like, per se. They are not bad at all. But there's just better albums that I'm going to talk about that just have better music on them, and this is why it's a 9th spot. It's sort of like that modern metal sort of sound, which we'll get to later. I'll talk about it sort of later when I get to a couple other bands that I'm going to talk about. But some of the tracks I really like are Already Over, which is track 10, the title track, Dark Matter. It sort of has like this synthwave sort of intro with, how do I explain it? It's sort of this synthwave sort of intro, and it gets to metal, but it has like this climactic sort of hook. Uh, Gravedigger, which is just like a mosh pit song. Faded Line, which is like another rager that has like a Linkin Park sort of sounding riff in it. Uh, and then, of course, you got a non metal track with track 7, Monster I Become, which it has its purpose. It fits the album. Uh, it's still catchy, but it's not like my top track on this. Um, but yeah, this album's great. If you want to go check it out, it's on Jacob Azot's YouTube channel, and so uh, just look for Jacob Azot Dark Matter full album stream, and you'll find the video. And so, really, really good album. 13 tracks, 45 minutes. Came out this year, and it's really good. You should check it out.
All right. So we're on to my number 9, and Jason mentioned this already. And after contemplating, I decided I am gonna put it on the list. It's the 1989 classic "Boomin' Words from Hell" by Esham. Now, I'd say this is horrorcore, but that's an understatement. This is the founder of what horrorcore is, and what he refers to it as the wicked shit. But
or acid rap.
Yes, acid rap as well. He literally founded a genre. The Insane Clown Posse, and did all of horrorcore would not exist without this man. So even though this album is in number 9, I have to give him so much credit. He's very, like, I can't say there's any specific album other than this one I can pinpoint as being great, like amazing, but there's so many great bangers by Esham. I recommend checking out his stuff. There's so much good stuff. But on this album, this is his first album, and it's got a very 80s feel to it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it definitely does. It definitely does. It's definitely it definitely has that 80s rap sort of sound.
Yeah, you start out with probably one of the best songs on the album, Esham's "Boomin'," and it's just a straight ride. It just got so much energy straight out the gate. And then you got the second track, which is much shorter, but in its, I think, 1 minute runtime, you have a character. You have him in the song saying that he wants to be like Hitler when he grows up. When he said that when he was a kid, apparently. So you get that,
which is crazy.
It's a wild shit, man. And then so you got that going on. Sprinkled throughout the throughout the album, you've also got some other bangers like Red Rum. That's a great one. And the song that album is known for, which is Word After Word. You also get some very explicit tracks, if that makes any sense. You get like 4 of those. But the album as a whole, and you get like a nice high song with track number 6. I forgot
what was it called? True, I think.
Yeah, yes, it was. It was called True. It was called True. How did you remember that?
Because I don't know. I just remembered that. I was like, yeah, track 6, True.
Yeah.
Because I sort of just, because if I listen to albums enough, then I sort of just memorize the names of the tracks.
Well, that's impressive. Yes, it's called True, and it's a nice weed ballad, basically, and I can appreciate that. But it's all in all, it's just a great underground 80s bump. You can pop that in and you can get some nice fast beats, and you can just have a good old time listening to it. but it's only at number 9 because there's better on this list, and Isham will be a part of another thing much higher up the list, and Jason knows what that is.
Yeah, I know what it is, and I actually really like it too. So I'll probably make some comments on it. But I was gonna say, now that I really think about it, uh, now that I really think about it, yeah, I know like Isham was like the inventor of like the horrorcore sort of genre and acid rap and stuff. But also, I feel like this first album, some of the tracks, they sort of feel like lyrical rap ish.
I suppose I see what you're saying with that.
Like they're not like lyrical rap like the thing I showed you today, but like, or even the Twista album, but like they're they sort of feel like that ish, you know, like they're you could argue that they could be sort of lyrical.
Okay. I guess I see what you're saying with that. I can't say I argue. I mean, it sounds kind of similar.
But
yeah, that's a 16-track album. I forgot to mention that. With no skits and no, intros, outros, nothing like that. Just 16 straight songs. And I have to give credit where credit is due to the founder, which is why he is at number 9 on this list.
yeah. Okay. Let me talk about my number 8. And my number 8 is going to be a concept album, and is going to be it is probably by one of my favorite bands, at least my top 10 favorite bands. And that album is 1988. This came out in 1988. But this is Operation Mindcrime by Queensryche.
It's the first album you ever showed me.
Yes, this was the first album I ever showed Brody on the because we've been showing each other albums, and so this is how we came to this. But Operation Mindcrime, Queensryche, a concept album. This is basically about. I'm gonna go into a little bit of the concept, but I really want to talk about the music itself. But basically, the whole gist of it is that there's this dude named Nicky, and he was originally a drug addict, and this man, Dr. X, he started this operation called Operation Mindcrime, and we learned that through the album, that Nicky was basically recruited, because he wanted to try and turn, Nicky was trying to turn his life around, but he was recruited to, he was basically recruited and brainwashed to kill these political figures, and then we learn that throughout the album that he meets up with Mary, and who is a prostitute, and they basically get together, and then later he has to kill Mary for the mission, and then throughout the second half of the album, Nicky is basically coping with that, and he realizes what's going on, and he wants to try to get out, but he can't. And we learn by the end that he gets locked up in a mental institution. But that's basically the gist of the concept. And but to the music itself, Revolution Calling, the first track. This album has 10 actual tracks, but it has 5 interludes. So it has 15 tracks. So some standouts are Operation Mindcrime, the title track, The Mission, the 10-minute epic, what's it called? Sweet Sister Mary, I think. Yeah, that's what it was called. The ending track, Eyes of a Stranger, Don't Believe in Love. And every track, even the interludes, they all just fit into the concept so well. And it all fits into each other. And it's just a great jam. Like, I also have this on CD. And every time I explain an album and I talk about it, I'll talk about it I'll mention if I have it on CD or not. Uh, but this album, great listen. Uh, Jeff Tate's vocals are really good. A lot of the Queensryche albums, especially the early albums, because this 1988 album is their third album. They had a couple good albums after that, but all the new like Queensryche albums are not that good at all. The first four albums, which are Warning, I'm just gonna mention them because I don't have any of the other ones on my list. Um, but you'd have the Warning, which is their first album. Even the first EP, they have like an EP, and it's really good too. But the Warning, Strange Order, I think it's called. This one, Empire, the Promised Land, and then after Promised Land, this is where it all kind of went to shit. But Operation Mindcrime, I think, is them at their best. People call it like progressive rock. I could say that. It's sort of like that progressive rock. Queensryche is one of those bands. I don't even know if I want to say they're full like progressive rock because they are, but once they got to Empire, which is our 1990 album after Operation Mindcrime, they sort of got rid of that and sort of went a more radio friendly sort of just rock sound. Queensryche was always one of those bands. It was like you never really could fit them in a box. They sort of swayed in between that progressive rock and that sort of radio rock sound throughout even the first like albums. But Operation Mindcrime, really good concept, really good album. Go check it out if you haven't already. 10 tracks. If you don't count the interludes, 15 tracks. Of course, you got the two intro. You get two intro tracks, and then you got an interlude toward the middle of the album. Then you end with two more interludes before the last track, and yeah, it's just really fucking good. That's all I gotta say about it.
All right. Well, my number 8 is something that I have shown Jason. It's the first thing so far that I do not have the CD of. I have the CD of the last movie. I forgot to mention that. That's my bad. But it's 1992's classic horror pioneer album, The South Park Psycho by Gangston. Now, I'll say this. This is this is a pioneer. He didn't start it, but he was there like pretty much straight out of the gate. This is an album that definitely has a West Coast feel. It's like a very West Coast feel mixed with like horror lyrics. It's a 14-track thing. Also, this has nothing to do with the show South Park. When I first found this album, I thought that because I'm a huge South Park fan, but it has nothing to do with South Park.
And this also came before South Park.
Yes, it came 5 years before the first episode of South Park. So that's something.
Isn't it actually? I think it's actually about like the album is actually about a town called South Park, isn't it?
That's where this all is supposed to be like, that's what he's talking about. I think it's like somewhere in Texas, somewhere in Houston.
Yeah, I think it's like some like suburb or something.
Yeah, in Houston, Texas, a lot too. So I think so that's one thing. You get 14 tracks with an awesome intro, and you get 14 tracks, and I think you get the intro, and I think you get a skit somewhere in the album. So basically 12 full tracks. You get some great tracks like Horror Movie Rap, Get Out the Game, Young Brother from H-Town,
Slaughter.
Yeah, Slaughter, of course. Slaughter is like the best track on the album. There's one other one I wanted to mention, but I can't remember the name of it.
Something Amp, wasn't it?
Yeah, one of them, but that's not the one I was speaking of. It's the one that came before Slaughter.
I don't remember the name of it.
Me neither, but it's a very good track. And this is something that I'm a huge fan of this. This is basically, gangster rap mixed with horrorcore. So, that's this. I mean, I have it. This is a great album, but the top 6 is so packed full of absolute amazing shit that I have to have this year.
Yeah, I can't wait to, especially my top, especially like my top 5. We're gonna be cooking.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
But yeah, that's all you have to say.
Yeah.
Okay, my number 7. Brody's probably not. You're probably not gonna like this. This is the one country album I'm going to have on the list. And it was hard to pick this because this artist, there's probably 4 albums I sort of can pick, and it's sort of like this with another one of my favorite bands that of an album that's coming up in the future on the list. But it's sort of hard because there's 4 albums that I really like by this artist, and they kind of fluctuate, but this is what I'm feeling right now. So my number 7 is going to be That Don't Make Me a Bad Guy by Toby Keith. And this was his 2008 album. And this has 11 tracks on it. This is country music, but this was country before it became like pop and all of that shit. So this was actual like country. But we got the title track, That Don't Make Me a Bad Guy. Creole Woman, which is probably one of my favorite tracks off this. And then we have Lost You Anyway, which is like a sort of cool just ballad to listen to. You Already Love Me, another great track. And then the last track, I'm forgetting what the name of it was, but it was a really good like album closer, and it's another good ballad. I think it was called I Got It For You, Girl. I think that's what it was called. But this album is just great, and the reason why it's in my 7 is because yes, it's like really good music and it's country music, but like there was just way, especially like top 3, there was just so much better shit to talk about that it has to be here. But it's a great album, and with Toby Keith, there are 4 albums that I could pick from, but this was the one I was feeling today. So this is the one that's going to be on my list.
Is that it?
Yep. That is it.
Oh. Alright, so we're going to talk about my number 7, and this is probably the only album on this list that the avid person, just the regular, not avid, the average person has heard of. And it is probably the best made album in the history of rap, in my opinion. This is nowhere near my favorite. It's a number 7, obviously, but this is 1,000% the best made album I've ever heard. And Jason, have you already guessed it?
No, I haven't get. I was looking at the chat, so yeah.
Okay, well, I'll just say it. It's 1992's The Chronic by Dr. Dre. Now, yeah,
I was either
you guys
thinking
have heard
Dr. I
this.
was either thinking Dr. Dre or Eminem. I didn't know which one though.
Okay, that's fair. Nothing in 1992 from Eminem though.
Definitely not.
This is a beautiful sounding album to the ears. All the synths and the beats, everything about that and the samples is just literally like an eardrum massage. It just sounds so awesome. You get radio hits like you get radio hits like with Great Day, Let Me Ride, and what is that song called? The other one,
I don't remember. Why can't I think of it either? I don't remember what it was.
Hold up. Echo, what is track number 5 on the album The Chronic by Dr. Dre? That's it. It's called Nothing But a G Thing. Yeah, that's
Yeah, that one. Yeah, now I remember. Just had to hear the name of it.
If I can't remember a track, I'm not just gonna leave you. I'm not gonna leave you guessing. I'm gonna ask my my electronic device back there what it is, because it can be smart for me. I can just stay retarded.
Yeah, Brody. If you don't watch, or if you watch the channel but are not really affiliated in my friend group, Brody is he's retarded and he's fat.
I know, get it.
And he doesn't want to learn how to use tech.
No, I don't, which is why I'm having Jason do the stream. I am the guest.
Well, I was sort of the one that wanted to plan this anyways.
Yeah, that's true.
But anyway,
just to finish
continue.
Album, you get those radio hits, but you also get some awesome gangster rap hits, such as Rat Tat Tat, N-word with a gun, because I'm not gonna get canceled before I even get on YouTube, damn it. God. Yeah. N-word with a gun. So yeah, there's that, and there's also a track. There are, in fact, there's also an intro, but I don't even want to call this one a skit, because it's got such a beautiful sound to it, and it's got a rap beat on it, but they're just talking. It's not an actual song. But I mean that thing transcends a skit. It's more. It's an intro that deserves to be praised. And you get that plus 2 other skits. So your 16-track album has 13 actual songs. Okay, I'm gonna warn you guys though. Track number 13 is a skit, and as I said with the Esham tracks, this skit gets kind of explicit in the very adult sort of way.
There's an even more explicit skit on another Dr. Dre album.
Yeah, that one you just have to read the name of.
Yes.
I
don't think people really want to listen to that.
I don't know. Maybe if they want to do. I mean, Maybe.
I mean,
but,
there's
like,
there's those types of people out there.
in a very, very, very specific circumstance, if you know what I mean.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
But I don't.
This,
I think when we're talking about us, I don't think we really want to listen to that when we're just trying to jam.
not at all. Not at all. I don't. If I'm gonna do that, I'm not gonna use an actual. I'm not gonna use a song album to do that. I'm not that pathetic. I'm not gonna use music to do that. But moving on, this album is great all the way through. Other than that skit, there's not a single thing on this album that I can say is a little over. Is like there for no reason. I like everything on there. You get Stranded on Death Row. You get a song. You get a nice track featuring RBX, the Lady of Rage, and I think Corrupt. You also get some good shit with you also get another track with Dr. Dre and RBX right next to each other. I can't remember the names, so let me hold up real quick. Echo. What is the 12th track on the album The Chronic by Dr. Dre? Yeah, High Powered and Echo. What's the 11th track on that album? Okay, yeah, Lyrical Gangbang, which, wow, that's a title. Yeah, so you get those. There's just so much good shit on this album. But it's only at number 7 because this is an album that I feel like if I put it at number 1, it'd be cheating. I honestly feel like it's not my favorite album, but it's definitely the most well made. On to you for number 6 there, Jason.
All right. Before that, I'm just making sure that there wasn't anything new. Nope. Okay, for my number 6, this isn't one this is one I haven't shown Brody, which was also the case with my number 7. Because I did show Brody a Toby Keith album, but it was a different album. But
that was
yeah, that's why before I mentioned it, I was like, I don't know if you're gonna really like what I have to say about it, but yeah.
I mean, anything you want to say about it is your opinion. Whether I like the album or not, your opinion is completely different from mine. So that doesn't. What I think about it is completely different.
Yeah, I know. I was just messing around.
Yeah, for sure.
But my number 6, and I'm gonna show you this one eventually, but this also came out in 1988, which is the same year of Operation Mindcrime. I also do have this on CD, and that is The New Order by Testament. This is their second album, and this is a thrash band. So this is thrash metal, and Testament, they released their first album, The Legacy, which a lot of people like, but I particularly like The New Order a lot. This has, I think, 10 tracks. It has 10 tracks. Of course, you got thrashy, fast bangers like Eerie Inhabitants, the first track. I really like the bridge of that song. That's probably my favorite part of that song. Title track is good. One of my favorite intros is the intro guitar solo to Trial by Fire, which is just fucking amazing. Trial by Fire, Hypnosis, which is another standout sort of instrumental slash well, there's actually 2 instrumental tracks, because one of them is interlude, which is Hypnosis, and then the ending instrumental track, which is called Musical Death the Demiurge, which is really, really good as well. And then a lot of the intros on a lot of these songs, like especially the guitar, that's why I like this album a lot, is because of this. But the intro to Disciples of the Watch, and the song itself, it is probably the most heavy. It is probably the heaviest song on this album, and it is really good. Uh, you know, that's one of the thrash bands that people. So it's sort of in the underground, but um, if people know, like, if you know thrash, then you do know Testament, but it's not as big as something like early Metallica or Slayer or any of those '80s sort of thrash style sounding bands. But it's not so in the underground that you have to that it's like, oh, what is Testament? It's sort of like, I guess it's what would be the correct way to explain it? It's sort of like in that middle ground, I guess.
I suppose so.
Yeah, but this album is great. I have this album on CD, and that's pretty much what I want to say about that. The New Order by Testament.
Alright. Well, my number 6 album, one I've shown Jason before, and now we're really getting into some of the great shit from my list. And it is called Barn of the Naked Dead by Mr. Hyde. Now, this is an album. Remember when I said that Agent Orange had some production by Necro? Basically, Necro is like another horrorcore legend, but this isn't his album. This is part of his label, which is called Psychological Records. This is a dude on his label, and he featured on some Necro songs and stuff. He's basically the Snoop Dogg. If Necro was Dr. Dre, he's like Snoop Dogg. He's there a lot.
But just more underground.
And a lot more murdery.
Yes. And a lot, yeah, horrorcore.
So you get what is it, a 18-track album, or a 19-track album with, I want to say, 4...
Yeah, there's 4 skits because there's 15 actual tracks, because I know that because I have the instrumental CD.
Yeah, I went to buy this, and I accidentally bought the instrumental, so I gave Jason a bit of a present in the way of the instrumental copy, so he has that on CD. So you have an intro, an outro, 2 skits, and a remix, which is actually better than the original.
Which that remix is great because it's a rock remix and it's awesome.
So you have 14 original tracks, and you have some stuff. You have some basic horrorcore stuff like the title track, Barn of the Naked Dead. You have the Crazies. You have Weapons of Mass Destruction, Malignant Messiah. These are all really good ones because Malignant Messiah also has some rock shit on it, so I know Jason's a fan. You also get some straight rapping tracks like Street Veterans, Married to Pain. You get Say My Name, On the Prowl, and then you get some interesting ones in the way that they actually kind of like go from the perspective of different people. You get one called Bums, which is written in the perspective of like a homeless man. So if you're homeless, maybe you can relate to this. Hopefully not, though, because if you listen to the song, you'll understand why you really don't want to relate to this.
Oh yeah, and this came out in, what was it, 2004?
2004. Yeah, that's my bad. I forgot to say that. This is the second album on the list that I don't have the CD for yet. You also, and then you also have one track that basically has three different perspectives. The first is perspective of a prison guard who's watching as Mr. Hyde is being put in the electric chair. Then you get the perspective of Mr. Hyde as he's dying or about to die, and then you get as like the mortician. You get the perspective of him. It's actually a pretty interesting track, and it's sad that that's a short track.
I sort of do like the perspective songs. They sort of give a little bit of a different flavor to things.
Absolutely. So that's basically what we got with this album. Although I'll say, I will say a little bit more with this, with the fact that Necro features on here, Ill Bill features on here, Gore-Tex features on here, the Psychological Records, crew. It's got everybody. It's got everybody who always features on these albums. Gore-Tex, Ill Bill, Mr. Hyde, Necro. They're like the four horsemen of Psychological Records. They're always together doing shit.
Yeah.
And this is just more horrorcore shit. I can guarantee you that when somebody watches this video, somebody's gonna go, "Oh my god, how much horrorcore does this person listen to? Holy shit, man!"
Dude, the way you just did that impression, you sounded like Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse talking about horrorcore. Now I want that to exist.
Choppy Mouse.
Choppy Mouse.
Yeah, so that's all I gotta say about my number 6. Production by Necro, of course, by the way. But that's what I gotta say for my number 6.
Okay, my number 5, I also have this one on CD. This came out in 2020, and this is another metal band, and this is What the Dead Men Say by Trivium. And
have we done this one?
I actually don't think we did do this one. I don't think we did. But this is their 9th. Is it their 9th? Yeah, it is their 9th studio album. And it has 10 tracks. It's, this was the second album that Trivium really, because Trivium is one of those modern metal bands that sort of put into a lot of different subgenres because they sort of explore a lot of different things. But I like to call them modern technical metal, because they also can get pretty technical on their albums too. Because a lot of times Trivium, like, they write like long tracks, but they're not like over 10 minutes. They're more like, oh, let's just write like a 5 to 7 minute sort of song, sort of like a techno song. If you listen to techno, then you'll know what I'm talking about. With most techno songs, they're like that. There's an exception, and I'll get to that on my honorable mentions. But with this sort of album, there is 10 tracks. There is a intro track and then 9 actual tracks. What the Dead Men Say, the title track, is great. The Catastrophist, Amongst the Shadows and the Stones. That's probably Amongst the Shadows and oh my gosh, I can't talk. Amongst the Shadows and the Stones is probably one of my favorite tracks on this. And it's just a heavy ass, like, sort of thrash sounding track, but it's really, really technical as well. Then Catastrophist, What the Dead Men Say. Scattering the Ashes is another sort of slower sort of song that you get on this album. And then Bending the Arc to Fear, another heavier track. A lot, like, this is just great music. A lot of the stuff on this album is just really good, and it's just all the instrumentation is good, the vocals are good, the guitar solos are really good. Uh, the drumming is really good. Like, the song structure, that's why I like it so much, because it fits my sort of song structure and the way I like songs. Um, it's it's a really good album. What the Dead Men Say by Trivium. Uh, Came out in 2020, so uh, yeah, that's all I pretty much have to say about that.
Did we do that one? I can't remember if I asked.
Yeah, you did ask. I don't think maybe we actually. Now I remember. Maybe we tried to do it and then you fell asleep.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
I think that was. Yeah, now that I think about it, I do remember that.
Yeah.
So I think we should redo that one because we never ranked that one in. What?
Didn't we do that the next day though?
No, we didn't.
Huh.
We did something different.
All right. Well, here is my number 6. Or I mean, my
Number 5.
Yeah, my number 5. It's gonna be Bang Pow Boom by Insane Clown Posse. I haven't shown this one to Jason yet. We're getting there. I just started the Insane Clown Posse saga with him. I'm showing him like 6 different projects by them, and that'll be a bit of a journey.
It's an interesting one because, yeah, a lot of the stuff I don't really like, but yeah.
Dog, you made me listen to an entire country album where a guy complained about his wife leaving him. You can deal with it.
Dude, I gotta show. If you listen to like because there's another one. It's called Drinks After Work, but it doesn't. There's of course like a couple songs, but it's not as much as that album.
Okay, I welcome that then. But anyways, you get some really good shit on here. You get Freaky Creep Show, which you get the intro. I don't know how many skits there are. I know there's the intro track, and I think there's a couple of like interludes, but they're still part of the song. Like, it's not a separate thing. But I don't know how many separate skits there are. I'm not sure. But what you get here is the amount of tracks is iffy. Let me explain that real quick. There's a couple different versions. And with each version, you get a different hidden track and a different second track. With the red version, you get Freak Show, and your hidden track at the end is Our Hero, which are both great songs. And there's also the Nuclear version, which has all the hidden tracks from each version and a mashup of like a verse from each of the hidden tracks from all of the 3 other versions. It's a really weird thing. But the red version is the one I'm gonna go with for my list here because it's the best one. This is something that basically 17 tracks for the normal. Nuclear has like 21. You get great shit.
Oh yeah, you forgot to mention.
Shows just a banger.
You forgot to mention when it came out.
Oh, 2009. Yes, that's my bad. Also, the year I was born. So this album is as old as me.
Hint, the next album.
Which is
the next album on my list came out that same year.
Okay, so that album's also as old as me. But this album, basically, what we have here is some good horrorcore shit. I mean, Insane Clown Posse is like everybody's at least heard of them, even if they've never listened to their music or don't care to. They've at least heard of them. And I have one other thing on there from them. This I did show Jason. But this album, it's got some good shit. In Your Face, Freaky Creep Show, Vultures. My favorite track on here is called Thon's Pond. And it's like a cool, like, it's a story about like the legend of the spooky pond that like you can't even swim in it because if you swim in there, something will like drag you to the bottom and you'll just kind of be stuck there for all eternity. And there's like some creepy shit on there. And you've got some fun fast tracks like the bone and I think a track is called What Is Love. I could be wrong, but it's something very similar. But it's but see, I usually don't like that because those are usually sappy. But these are funny. These are very funny and enjoyable tracks. I will show Jason this because this is just a very fun album. This is just such a fun, goofy. Just as a group, they're very like goofy, fun, but they're also horrorcore, if that makes sense. They manage to mix humor and murdering people, so that's an interesting thing to manage. But I think they do it well. But that's all I'll say for this album, because anything that I can explain is something that you kind of need to hear to understand. So check this out if this is your sort of thing, or if you've already checked it out, put it in Jason's comments, because you can't put it in mine because my channel doesn't exist yet.
Alrighty.
That's
Alrighty.
Oh. Let's go on to number 4.
That is, alrighty is probably like the most southern way to say alright.
Alrighty indeed. Let me just grab a beer.
But my number 4 is going to be the one that I've showed you. This is the one that came out the same year as Brody's album that you just talked about, the Insane Clown Posse album. But my number 4, and I sort of had a hard time trying to pick this one because it was sort of the same situation with Toby Keith, where there's like 3 albums that are sort of like really, really good. And this is we gotta finish this saga because we just started it. But for right now, I'm feeling this. And before on my list, I felt like another one of these albums, which was the 2020 album from theirs. But I feel like I'm feeling this one at least for now. It always sort of changes, but for now, it's going to be their 2000 Five Finger Death Punch's 2009 album, War Is the Answer. And basically with this album, there are 2 versions of this album. There is the regular version, which has 13 tracks, and then the deluxe version, which has 15 tracks. Which I showed Brody the deluxe version of this album. And the regular version ends with the title track, but the deluxe version has Succubus and What I've Done. But I grew up with this album. I first heard it, I think, when I was like 5, and then sort of forgot that it existed, and then started really getting into like Five Finger Death Punch, and then remembered it was a thing. And then, but with this album and the 2 other Five Finger Death Punch albums that I really like, because Five Finger Death Punch is one of my favorite bands. They don't have a bad album at all, but there are just 3 albums that I would say that I just really like, including this one, because it just has everything about Five Finger Death Punch. You have heavy tracks on this, like Dying Breed, Bulletproof, even No One Gets Left Behind, which is just some heavy, like, sort of just modern metal shit. And then you have more slow sounding tracks, like, actually I would say there's 3 sort of styles, because, yeah, the heavy shit like Dying Breed, Burn It Down, Falling in Hate, and then you have the sort of the middle ground with Hard to See, Crossing Over, and then sort of the lighter sort of sounding songs with Far From Home. But this album is just great. Like, it has everything you would like want from Five Finger Death Punch. Like, you have the instrumental track too, uh, which is one of the only Five Finger Death Punch albums to include an instrumental track on it. Um, the title track "War Is the Answer." That's just a jam. Um, the the only track that the only track I wouldn't say it's bad, but it's not as good as the other. I wouldn't go back to it if I'm going to go back to certain tracks from this album. Would be "Bad Company," which is the cover song that they did, which was from the band Bad Company. It was the song called "Bad Company." I like the original song, the original '70s rock song, a little bit better, but all the other songs on this album, they're just good. This is probably as metal as Five Finger, or actually, I would say Ward's the answer. Well, no, because Way of the Fist, that is technically a heavier album, which was their first album, but I don't know. I would say Ward's the Answer is the definitive Death Punch album, whereas, actually, fuck, because they're all three of them are Ward's the Answer, Wrong Side of Heaven, Right Side of Hell, Volume 1, and F8, because they're all really, really good, but, actually, yeah. Ward's the Answer.
Definitive one.
What?
Yeah, I'd argue this is the definitive one because, guys, if you don't know this, but this is probably the only album on this list that I can relate to on a personal level. Because I grew up with this. My dad's favorite band is Five Finger Death Punch, and this is like his favorite CD. So I grew up with this from the day I was a little baby. So I can say with confidence anything about this album that he can.
Well, I could say that this is the definitive one, but I also want to argue that F8 is the definitive one, only because it has like the newer sounding Death Punch sort of tracks on it too. But
it's the new Death Punch. This is the definitive old Death Punch, if that makes sense.
Yeah, let's argue that, because yeah, this is, if you want old Death Punch, this is the definitive Death Punch right here. Because I would say Wrong Side of Heaven, Right Side of Hell, Volume 1 is probably the most technical Death Punch album, but this is the definitive old Death Punch, and then F8 is the definitive new Death Punch.
Yeah.
So that's a good way to argue that, because they're both of those albums, War's the Answer and F8, are equally good, and that's why I had a hard time picking which one I wanted to put on the list.
Okay. All right. So now I'm on to my number 4.
Well, I thought it would be your number 3, right? No, it would be your number 4, right? Yeah.
Yeah, number 4. We're gonna get a reoccurring character here, and a very recent character at that, because we have, and I'm cheating, by the way. I'm cheating for this one and my number 2, which I will explain why that makes sense in a minute here. This is the 20th anniversary Hallowicked collection by Insane Clown Posse. Now, here's what's going on here. Every Halloween, they release a single, not a sequel.
Can't talk.
I cannot speak. But yes, every Halloween they release a single, and it is, a Halloween-based horror hit. And they started doing this in 1994, a year after their debut album came out. So they started doing this in 1994, and they kept doing it. And then in 2014, when they released that one, they released a compilation double disc set with 21 tracks. That is all of them. Now, some might say, "Oh, this is an album." Not at all, because it's a compilation CD. It was never made as an original album. And to this, I say, shut up. This is my list, and I consider it an album because it's not like it came from a bunch of different albums. these songs were singles. If they had, like a greatest hits, I could agree with you. Because greatest hits is just songs from all their other albums. But this is not that. This has some good shit on there. It has some great tracks like Halloween Head, Red Moon Howl, Mr. Johnson's Head, the remix, because they had the original one on Ringmaster, Pumpkin Carver, Sleepwalker. They also have an Esham feature on track 9, Silence of the Hams. They had Thug Pit. They had some. They also have some good tracks like Murder Cloak, with Halloween, basically their most basic name of a track. There's also some funny tracks in here, like If I Ate Your Brains, and Toxic Love, which I'm not even gonna bother explaining that track. It's insane.
It is wild.
If nothing else, listen to this song just so you can understand. I'm not even gonna begin to explain that track. You will never, ever expect, because it's a basically storytelling track, you will never, ever expect the ending. It's... that track's fucking wild, dog. And everything's good. There are 2 tracks in here I do not like. One of them just is kind of pointless, and the other one is genuinely terrible. Track number 13, Blood Red Rum, says the same thing over and over, and it's a good beat, which is why it's not, the worst thing. So it's a nice beat to listen to, but it's not a great track. And track number 19, Amber Alert, is genuinely awful. Like, it's so boring. That's it. It's a boring track. And it's, like, if I was in 2012, if this song came on and I was like, oh my god, what's the one that's coming out this year? And I looked and I found it somewhere, and it came on, and I'm like, are you kidding me? I waited all year for this? Then again, after that, they came out with Halloween Head in 2013 with the second to last track. So, like, I mean, they redeemed themselves so fucking. But yeah, that's this thing.
Enable monitoring, uncheck checkbox.
And
Mute mic slash uncheck checkbox.
that is the 20th anniversary Hell Witch collection from 2014. And this I have. So far, the only things that I have not had is Bang Pub Boom, the Gangsta Nip, South Park Psycho, and the Mr. Hyde CD. But we're gonna keep on cooking.
Yep.
So what's your number 3, man?
Okay, my number 3, all I'm gonna say before we start talking, or before I start talking about my number 3 pick, is, yeah, now we're really cooking, because I'm gonna be talking about the music that, like, I would recommend anyone listen to, because before, I would say to number 10 to number 8, they were sort of on the list because they were just my, like, really good albums, and then my number 7 to number 4, I just recommended to people that are into specific genres of music, like, they're just really, really good albums that I would recommend that people will listen to that are into those specific genres. But these top 3 albums on the list, these are for people that, these are for any music fan, no matter if you're into rap or into rock, like, you will find something from these top 3 albums on that I have to talk about today. But the first album, and I definitely really think that anyone should listen to this. This is my number 3, and I showed this to Brody, and he really liked it, and I really, this was an album that actually took a minute to get up here on my list, but when I really think about it and listen to it more and more, like the more I just appreciate the musicality, the technicality, and like even the lyrics of this masterpiece. And that album is the oldest album, at least on the list proper. There are some older ones that I'm going to mention in my honorable mentions, but this is the oldest one on the proper list. This came out in 1981, and this is their 8th studio album, but number 3 spot goes to Moving Pictures by Rush. And yeah, what a great album. What a great piece of music. This has 7 tracks. This has 2 of their most iconic, well, actually 3 of, yeah, I would say 3 of their most iconic songs, actually. Because 2 of them are radio hits, and one of them is just a great instrumental, which is very, very, very catchy, which is also pretty well known. But you had the first track, which opens up, which is Tom Sawyer. Then you have Limelight. Then you have Limelight is track 4. YYZ, that is the instrumental. It is track 3. This is when Rush started. They didn't really go to a completely radio sort of rock sound yet. Because they kind of started with that sound, but then they went progressive. But this is sort of the middle of the road, and that's why I like it so much, because there are catchy songs, but there are also songs that really, really, really fit the mind of the musical nerd like myself. Like, especially the 11-minute track, The Camera Eye, which is probably my favorite track on this record. And it's the 5th track, and it's just really good. But also the catchy songs like Limelight and Tom Sawyer really fit the album. And then you have, of course, the closing track, which really, really closes off this masterpiece. Vital Signs, Witch Hunt, which is track 6. And every track on this album is just great. Vocals are great. Guitars are great. Drums are great. And like Rush, they know how to write like just awesome music. This is the thing, is when, because I sort of knew about this album, and I knew about Rush, but I never really checked out a whole album until I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get this on CD. And then I got it on CD and I listened to it, and I'm like, I forgot, like, this is so good. And then I decided, it just kept getting better and better, and started getting higher on my list. And this was an album I got the whole friend group onto. Not even just Brody. Like, yeah, I know, like, you liked it, but I got the whole friend group onto this. Like, there was even one friend that's, I'm not gonna say his name, you know who I'm talking about, though. He's on our Discord, and he's the one that doesn't really listen to a lot of music. And even I showed him, like, I told him about this album, and he listened to it, and he even thought that some of the tracks were great. So this is an album that this is an album that anyone can get into, because yeah, I gotta give a shout out to Terry Brown, because he was the one that produced this record. And I would give an argument. There's another album on this list I would give an argument to, but I would say, and even in some of the honorable mentions, but I would say that this is probably one of the best sounding records of all time, at least production-wise, too. There are some records on the honorable mentions that you could argue that sound better production, but you could argue that this is probably up there for some of the best production sound of all time. And great, like, just progressive rock, because it has the right amount of technicality and complexity, but also mixed with the right amount of catchiness. It's just all around great. Like, it is great music. if anyone likes any type of music or is into any sort of music, you will find some sort of value from this. Whether it's that's just Tom Sawyer, like which is probably the most well known Rush song, or even like a deeper cut, you're gonna find something you like about this album. So I recommend anyone who's into music check this out. Like check out Moving Pictures because it is a great album by Rush, and uh, they also have other great albums, which hint there might be a couple of them in my honorable mentions. But yeah, would you say that there's anything that you would want to say about this album?
Um, I mean, yeah, obviously it's nothing like that I myself would choose to listen to if I didn't know it better. But this is definitely something that I can genuinely say is the definition of peak music. Because, like, you know, even if it's a genre you don't like, there's music that you can just be like, okay, yeah, this is a hit. This has always been a hit. This is always going to be a hit. This is, you know, there's always going to be albums, songs that even people who aren't fans of genres will know, and depending on, like, who they are, will like. Like, but you'll always know them. This is something, I don't know if this is, like, it's everybody knows, but I mean, it's great. Like, even if it's a genre you're not a fan, this is something you can totally. This is like, it's great music to be listened to in the car, music to be fishing to, music to be, you know, into while you're in with the little radio, music to be, you know, it's music for any time and any place.
Yeah.
It's not like it's literally something. It's great, just like chill and hang out music.
Yeah, with the right amount of like, because I will say like it has the right amount of catchiness for anyone who's just listening to music, but it also pleases the the music nerds like myself who want technicality and complexity. So like it's the perfect mix, and that's all I really got to say about it. It is the perfect mix.
Yeah, I mean, Jason here has made a music nerd out of me, and I can just completely understand the complexities and just awesome sound of this album. Rush in general, like older Rush, even though it's not my genre and not my, like, chosen music, I would never ever say that I don't want to listen to this. Like, if somebody played this, I would never have an issue with that.
Yeah, and even the albums that are not moving pictures, like 2112, that is also just that album you could argue is perfect too, or is close to
Yeah,
perfect.
in general.
But the reason why I don't have it, the reason why I didn't put 2112 on my list, and it's sort of on my honorable mentions, is because I wanted to keep the proper list to one band or one artist. Because there's so many, because there's so many
Like, what artist?
yeah, like one band or one artist per like one band or one artist for the proper list. Uh, so like there's not multiple entries with the same artist because there's so many different albums I could mention by the same bands.
Yeah. Um. I have a album that I literally just now thought about that I can't believe I didn't put on the list. Kind of like a travesty that I didn't. But this will be at the top of my honorable mentions when we get to that. I'll give you a hint there, Jason. I recently showed you it, and you recently just went back to a song on it.
Oh, was it Cypress Hill 4?
It is, yes. I'll talk about that with my honorable mentions. Alright, but I'm gonna talk about my number 3 real quick. And it is an album that, to Jason, needs no introduction. It is called Do You Believe in God by Natus.
Yes, it is. This I would say this is probably at least for me, at least, this is probably the definition of peak old school rap music. Or at least underground old school rap music.
So it's like the moving pictures of the stuff I've shown you?
Yeah, I would say it's sort of like that.
Alright, well, I can definitely take the compliment, and I appreciate that, because I've shown you it. But, yeah, this is a great album. So we got Esham back. This is another Esham-related entry. This is a group he founded with two fellow rappers, TNT and Mastermind. Although there's a feature on here from Dice, which is another fellow who was in his record label.
Oh yeah, and this came out in 1995.
Yes, it did. Yeah, I forgot to mention that. But you get 18 tracks. I don't think you get any skits. No, you don't. You know. You get some really good tracks, like the opener, called "Do You Believe?" You get some. You got "Do You Believe?" "Scream," "Pop Pana," "Midnight Hour," "Rest in Peace."
What was track 2 called? Because I really like that one too.
I don't know. Hold up, I got you. Echo. What is track 2 on the album "Do You Believe in God" by NATAS?
Was it just called Natus? I don't think so, but...
Yeah. Okay, this thing's not telling me, but yeah, track 2 is great. I recommend that. As well as track 9, it is an interesting chop.
Oh yeah, Heaven. I remember track 9. Yeah, that was called Heaven.
Okay, yeah, Heaven. But yeah, so you have that. You also have some good. you got some good tracks. You have some explicit tracks, but there's only 2 of them, and to be honest, they're not as crazy as like some of the other things I've seen around. Esham's kind of known for having his very adult themed tracks. But this album, it doesn't lean too heavy into that, which I'm totally good with. I mean,
Well, because the whole message of the album, like the whole sort of message of it is, the reason why it's called "Do You Believe in God?" because it's literally questioning God. Like, throughout the whole album, really questioning, do you believe in God?
Yeah, because that is a message I myself can relate to, because I'm not a religious dude. I'm I mean, science is my religion, and you know, and textbooks are my Bibles, but I'm not really in all religious and shit, but I mean, it's a thing I can relate to. But this album, you got that good shit. You've also got you got Sunday School. That's another great track. But there's also some tracks in here that aren't that great. Track number 10 is just kind of very generic and not that good.
Yeah, and the title of it literally fits the name, fits what how the track sounds too.
Called "I Don't Care."
Yeah, I don't care. It fits how the track sounds.
Yeah, track number 8 is just kind of slow. I mean, I'm not a fan of it, but it's not a terrible track. And track number 7, I honestly need to talk about this for a second. This is a track that the beat is kind of good, but it's very unfinished, because I'm 99.9% sure they didn't use any drums, and they just clapped their hands for the beat.
They just made a piano and then didn't put any drums over it, and then...
Yeah, Mastermind, I mean, just imagine this, Esham, TNT, and Mastermind in the studio.
Alright, that's our beat now. Put it on the record.
Yeah, put that shit on the record, man. Why did I do that voice? That is a
I don't even know what
Yeah.
that was.
I don't know either. I think I'm doing retarded New Yorker. Or elderly New Yorker. But either way, this is a great album. I recommend it. And track number 7, Torture. I mean, you kind of got to listen to that beat to believe it. It's wild. That's the Dice feature. This is a great thing from start to finish. Even the tracks that aren't great are not they're not terribly made. They're not for me.
Yep. Okay. My number 2 is going to be one that a couple of the friends of the friend group, like Mason and Damien, I want to show Brody this album, but we gotta get them all on the call first before that can happen. But I have this album on CD, and this is just a vibe. Like, this is what you can call an album just to vibe to, just to chill out and have a good time and not worry about anything and just listen to the music. And that album it came out in 2014, and that is Salad Days by Mac DeMarco.
Oh, yeah, Mason has that one on vinyl too.
Oh yeah, and Damien. They both do.
Huh.
But and I have it on CD. 3 of us have it on physical formats, so that's pretty cool. But this album has 11 tracks, and the hit song on there is Chamber of Reflection, which is sort of like this psychedelic sort of rock sound. And that's what the whole album is. It's indie rock. It's slow indie rock. You could argue that it's psychedelic sort of sounding rock. You got a really, really, really cool track. Like this track, I would just call peak music. Let My Baby Stay, especially the ending part of that track, which is track 6, Let My Baby Stay. The ending part, I don't know. All I can say is it's transcending. Like there's no other word for it. This album, sometimes this album just makes you feel like you're on drugs. Like I don't know how to explain it. There's some parts it's just, I don't know how to explain it, but it's just a vibe. Like listening to this. What?
I said, don't give that album to Tyler.
Yeah, don't
Nope.
do that.
We're not explaining that.
Give them the Higher Them Rappin' album. Even though it's not good, but still.
Hey, you got Drug Zombies on there. That shit's fire.
Yeah. But anyway, back to Mac DeMarco. Of course, the opening track, Salad Days, that's just a banger. Brother is another good track on there. Let Her Go, Goodbye Week. Every track on here is just peak. It is just good shit. I don't know, like, what else to say. It's just, whenever you just want to vibe and just chill, and you have nothing better to do, just put on this indie rock sort of psychedelic sounding album, and you're gonna be vibing. Like it's just peak music. I would recommend anyone that likes music, that's really into it, to check this out. Like it is just that good, and there's nothing more to say about that. Just check out Salad Days by Mac DeMarco, and you will love me for it.
All right. Now, we're about to talk about another album where people are probably we have Cage's mixtape called For Your Box. This one, I'm gonna talk about it a bit, and I don't mean like album-wise. I have to talk about. I kind of have to talk about the history of this one a bit because it's very different. So, in 1999, on undergroundhiphop.com, Cage released a cassette
Enable
tape
monitor. Uncheck checkbox.
called For Your Box.
Mute. Mic slash uncheck checkbox. Volume slider 4. Media. Vertical slider.
This was
Volume slider 4. Mouse audio capture. Vertical slider.
very limited
Volume slider 4. 0.0 dB.
in the world. I'm pretty sure there's only like 300 tapes. In fact, it probably is, I think it's either 100 or 300. But this is in the entire world. Mind you, at this time right now, probably a lot of those tapes are old or have broken sometimes.
There's a demo tape that I know of that only had like 200 copies sold. It was the first demo from Cannibal Corpse before their 1990 album, their first album came out.
Damn. But yeah, this is a very rare item, is the tape. In 2002, a CD version with slightly different track listings, they replaced a track called First Name Smut with a track called Fanatics. But that was released. Now, this is less rare, but this is still something that is a little hard to acquire. I need to manage that. But now on to the actual album. So this is basically, Cage refers to it as his first album, but what this is basically a mixture of promo tracks done with producers. Like he did a couple tracks with Greedy Fingers. He did a Red Devils track, and he did Beyond and Back, and The Last House on the Left with what's his name? Paranoid Android. That's what it was. Then he also on this album are the tracks that he had on his two 12-inch singles, Radiohead and Agent Orange. Yeah, that's the one he later released on his Movies for the Blind album. And the other 12-inch single, Illest Four-Letter Word and Murph. So there's those. There's also track he released an Eminem disc called And So Kitties, and a handful of radio recordings, some demo stuff. All of this is very low quality audio, but not like painfully bad, just kind of like basically what it would sound like if you were hearing it from a radio show, just kind of muffled. But this is something I just like Cage as a rapper, and this is something unlike most of my albums, this is something I can only recommend to Cage fans, to rap fans who like the style of Cage. This isn't something I can recommend to the average rap viewer just because of the low quality of most of the things on there, because because most of them are radio demos and stuff. This is, I think it was released in 1999. CD was released in 2002. It has, I think, 20 tracks. 20 tracks. And there's even one on there that was a demo that was done with Necro, so that's cool. This is such a good thing of Cage. It's Cage's best work wrapped up in a bundle, and it's the Furry Box tape, 1999, and that's basically what's going on here. It's very good start to finish, but like if even the slightest audio issue throws you off, then it's not. It's my number 2 because it's like I love this so much. I like Cage as a rapper, and I think if you like Cage, this is something that you literally can't live without checking out.
Alright.
Now onto our...
Alrighty. I guess it's time for honorable mentions.
Right, because we can't. You always do honorable mentions before you get to number one.
Yep. We can't. Like, why would we do number ones first and then do honorable mentions? That wouldn't make any sense.
We could do that just to piss everybody off.
No, I ain't gonna do that.
Nah. We like our viewers.
Yes. Okay, honorable mentions. So, I'm just gonna. For these, I'm gonna say a little bit, but I'm not gonna go in depth as I do on the proper list. First I'm gonna mention. I'm just gonna whatever I remember that just comes to my head that I thought was really good that needs to be on here for an honorable mention. I'm gonna mention. First thing is Data Elysium by the Zenith Passage, which is a technical death metal band. This album came out in 2023. I have this on CD. This has 9 tracks, really, really good. Tech Death, something I need to show Brody. Spiritual Healing by Death, which came out in 1990, another death metal band. This album has 8 tracks. And this was one of the first albums I showed Brody. Really thought-provoking lyrics, which you don't usually get in a lot of that old school death metal music, but Death was sort of the band to really start that movement, but in that specific genre. But another one is Appetite for Destruction. This was by Guns N' Roses, 1987. This was their first album. This was gonna make it on the list, but this was very, very close. But there were just albums that were better. But it is still really, really good. 12 tracks. A lot of the tracks on here are hits. So this album is really, really, really iconic. So go check that out. Then we have Pyromania by Def Leppard. This is their 1983 album. It's some good classic rock. It has 10 tracks on it. We also have Shout at the Devil by Motley Crue. Came out in 1983. Another classic rock album with 10 tracks on it, I believe, too. With an intro track. What else? We have... what else? We have Dark Side of the Moon by Pink Floyd, which I believe came out in 1975, which is people argue that it is one of the best produced sounding records of all time. Audiophiles use it to like test their speaker systems. A lot of great songs on here like Time, Money. Pink Floyd is just a great band to like listen to if you just want to vibe or even like try to fall asleep to it, I guess, because a lot of the songs are just slow, like psychedelic sort of progressive rock. Then we got I don't remember when this one came out, but we got Asia by Steely Dan, which is also one of the audiophile records, and this has 8 tracks on it, and it's really good jazz music sort of mixed with rock. So another classic sort of album. I will say there is a story about this album that there was supposed to be a song called The Second Arrangement that was recorded as a demo and then never made it onto the actual record. And I remember hearing that somewhere. We have The Impossibility of Reason by Chimera, which was a heavy metal sort of band, and sort of more underground heavy metal band, which came out, which that album came out in 2003, and Brody, that was the album that when I played that one song at lunch, that was the one that Mason thought was slop.
I mean, the vocals kind of were slop, but the beat, the drums and all the guitars and all that shit was good.
Yeah, you could argue the vocals are not the best. I wouldn't even call the vocals slop, but they're not the best vocals I've heard. But I wouldn't say the vocals are slop. Because there are way worse vocals 6 feet under.
Yeah.
But they're not slop by any means, because I've heard of way worse. But Images and Words by Dream Theater, this came out in 1992. An album with 8 tracks on it. Some progressive metal. Mysterium by Paradox. This came out in 2025. This has 9 tracks. Melodic technical thrash band. Oh yeah, and another album that has 8 tracks that I was going to mention earlier in the honorable mentions, but didn't get to until now, was a 2015 album that I showed Brody. This was a psychedelic trance album, and this was called Search for the Divine by Ajna. This has one of my favorite songs of all time on it. It's called Come Back to Reality. It's track number 6, but the reason why this album doesn't make the proper list is because this album is not for the average listener. Like, I'm going to tell you right now that this is not for the average listener at all. This is only for people that are really into the underground sort of psytrance scene, or like techno sort of music, or into that sort of electronic stuff. If you're not really into that sort of thing and you don't like long tracks, you're not going to enjoy this album. You're not going to like it. Because that's just the way it is. But I like it, so I include it in the honorable mentions. Another one that I wanted to mention was the Inception soundtrack. This was another one I showed Brody. This was really good. It has 12 tracks on it. Time is probably my favorite song by Hans Zimmer. This whole soundtrack was made by Hans Zimmer. And if you haven't watched the Inception movies, you should watch that. I'm trying to think if there... Oh yeah, Spiritual Black Dimensions by Dimmu Borgir. This was another one I showed Brody. That came out in 1999. The Inception soundtrack, that came out in 2010. I forgot to mention that. Spiritual Black Dimensions, that has 9 tracks. This is like a symphonic black metal album with like orchestral elements, and it's really good. I'm trying to think if there's any other honorable mentions. Okay, I'll kind of break the rules with the honorable mentions a little bit. 2112 by Rush, Farewell to Kings by Rush, Hemispheres, I guess I'll include that too, even though it's not my favorite Rush album, but still, I'll include it because it's just peak Rush. Everything up to Permanent Waves, and then of course Moving Pictures I already talked about. So go check out those 4 Rush albums. 2112, that came out 76, has great stuff on it. Farewell to Kings, of course you have Xanadu, and then Cygnus X1 Book 1, The Voyage, and then of course we continue that narrative with Book 2, with Hemispheres. And then I will also mention Metallica Master of Puppets. Metallica Master of Puppets, this was their 1986 album. This is their probably their thrashiest album. And we're going to hint another album by this same band will appear on the list.
Yeah, I like Master of Puppets. It's that one album from Stranger Things, you know.
Don't do that, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, but yeah, it's just Stranger Things is just such fuck that show.
Yeah.
But if you forget about Stranger Things, forget that exists. Just remember the album itself. Master of Puppets, great track. Damage Incorporated, uh, Battery, the title track, and yeah. But I think those are all my honorable mentions that I wanted to talk about. Oh yeah, I forgot about one more honorable mention. Uh, which was an album that I also showed you recently. The Rise of Brutality by Hatebreed, which, oh, now that I remember that, there's two more. The Rise of Brutality by Hatebreed, which is a hardcore punk album. I think this came out in like 2000. Um, but this album has some really good tracks. Tear It Down, Another Day, Another Vendetta, This Is Now. It's just an all around great, like, sort of hardcore punk sort of album. And then the other hardcore album I wanted to mention that I do want to show you at some point, Brody. Now that you think about it, there's even more there's even more things.
Damn, am I ever gonna get a chance spot?
Oh my gosh, there's so much. Um, no,
No,
I'll keep it to two more, cause.
no, do as long as you want. This is your show, dog.
But Forever by Code Orange, that's another hardcore album which came out in 2017. That I do want to show you, Brody. Like I want to show you that it's a pretty short album. It's only like 35 minutes, but it has like 11 tracks, I think, 10 or 11 tracks. I don't remember. Um, but that album's really good. And then Vulgar Display of Power by Pantera, a 1990s metal classic, which I want to show you. Uh, I want to show you that too. Um, that came out in 1992, which that's another saga that we're going to go through there because there's three albums that are really good by this band, which are Cowboys from Hell, Vulgar Display of Power, which I just mentioned, and then Far Beyond Driven. Vulgar Display of Power has 11 tracks. But yeah, I think that's all the uh Currents by Tame Impala. Another indie rock. I forgot about that. All right, I think that's it.
Are you sure you got them all, Jason?
I think so. I think I could keep mentioning stuff, but I think that's it. I think we're done. Cuz if I keep going, then you're never going to get a chance.
Every album ever made. And, like a few by some very choice artists. I'm looking at you 6 feet deep. And
6 feet under.
Or yeah, that.
Or MC
right.
Bushpig.
Alright, so my number not my number one. My honorable mentions. Ooh, I don't want to do that yet. My honorable mentions. First, I'm gonna mention Waterworld by Leak Brothers. This is a 14-track concept album from 2004 with Cage and Kane One, and it's an entire album about PCP. But it's not repetitive because they do it in a bunch of different ways. I just showed this to Jason.
Like all the beats are different. There's different like sort of lyrics. There's different sort of songs. It's actually a really good rap concept album.
Yeah. So you got that. You have The Future Is Now by Nonfiction. Nonfiction, of course, is the founded group by Ill Bill and Gore-Tex. So you know there's gonna be some features from good old Necro. Yep. Speaking of Necro, an album of his that I'm gonna show you pretty damn soon is Brutality Part 1 by Necro. Also by him is The Prefix for Death. I also have Master by Insane Clown Posse. Riddlebox by them. The Great Malenko by Insane Clown Posse. Beverly Hills, which is closer to an EP, but it's 40 minutes. I count it as an album.
I remember I found an album by Necro. It was called I think it was called like I Need Drugs or something like that.
Yeah, that's his debut album. Yeah, so there's those, and then we got Only Bodies Left Behind by Scum from 2005. This is some straight horrorcore shit. This is like full-on horrorcore, emphasis on the gore and just murder shit.
Yeah.
Sick Dinner Served by Scum, which I'm going to show Jason real soon. We also got some Cypress Hill bangers. Cypress Hill 4, Skull and Bones, Black Sunday, and boom. We also got some, we also got some other cool shit. We got some, what's it called? We got some, did I say Great Malenko? But I think, yeah, I did.
Yeah,
I did.
you mentioned it when you mentioned all the other Insane Clown Posse albums.
Okay, yeah, then I mentioned that. There's also The Bitch Chronicles by Razakil, which is another straight horrorcore album. I don't know if I'm going to show you that one, Jason. You know what? I might. But be prepared. That one's like emphasis on the horrorcore, and you'll know what I mean when you get into that. It's like, sometimes it can seem like a bit much, but I think it works, I guess. But it's an acquired taste in the full sense of the word. But I recommend that to full-on horrorcore fans. Like, they don't shy away from it. So there's that. Anything else? Do I have anything else?
Oh, yeah, I just thought of something when I was sharing those honorable mentions.
What?
I was sort of like that, you know, that rock music channel that has all those albums.
Yeah. Every single album on that channel is...
No, not every single album on that channel, because there's a lot of bands where I just don't. There's a lot of stuff I don't even know.
Which is really saying something. It takes a lot for Jake not to know.
But do you have any more?
No, those are my honorable mentions.
Okay. Well, I guess it's time for our number ones.
Yep.
Okay, my number one. I already mentioned this band in my honorable mentions. But we're gonna talk about it more today. And this has been my favorite album of all time. This is another Metallica album, and this came out in 1991. This was their fifth album, and this was the self-titled Metallica album, or as most people know it, the Black Album. And this album has 12 tracks. I originally heard about this album because my dad showed me this album. He had it on CD, and then I eventually got it on CD, which I have somewhere. It's in my CD book somewhere, I think. But Metallica, the Black Album. So, first track is Enter Sandman, which is probably the most iconic Metallica song. That is the most iconic Metallica song there is. Then you have Sad But True, which is another big song. There's a lot of big songs on this album. There's a lot of hits. Enter Sandman, Sad But True, Nothing Else Matters, which is the 8th track. The Unforgiven, which is another hit. All these tracks are really, really good. Because this is when Metallica, they sort of stopped embracing their heavy, heavy thrash sort of sound, and they sort of went to more of a hard rock sound, but they didn't really go that blues sort of country sound like we would get on Load and Reload, which I don't really like Load and Reload, which were the next albums that came after that. But the Black Album is a masterpiece. And I know, like, a lot of metalheads, there's a lot of metal heads that will say, oh, the Black Album, like, it wasn't Metallica's best album at all. Like, this is when they really gone commercial. But, and then there's people that are like me that really defend this album, that really like it. So, it's just, it depends on, like, what you think. And I did show Brody this. But the guitar work is good. The production is awesome. It was produced by Bob Rock. And like, the mixing, I would say it's probably up there with records like Dark Side of the Moon. And you could even say a Moving Pictures is up there. But, like, when it comes to the production. But this is probably up there. As at least, like, for the early 90s sound, probably one of the best produced albums. But then you have deep cuts like Don't Tread on Me, A Wolf and Man. A Wolf and Man is probably one of my favorite Metallica songs, at least from this album. The God That Failed, My Friend of Misery, the last track, The Struggle Within. They're all just really good. James Hetfield's vocals sound great. They have the right amount of tone, but the right amount of darkness to them. Drums and guitars, they all sound great. The guitar solos are great. The way that the songs are written, it's all just a masterpiece. It is probably, like, it is the definition of at least a perfect rock album. For any rock music fan, I would say even any music fan, because pretty much almost everyone, even if you're not really into rock music, you know who Metallica is, or at least you know, like, you probably might not know an album, but you know Metallica exists, and you know that there is. But if there is an album that I would recommend checking out by Metallica, if you're not really into Metallica and you want to try and get into rock or anything like that, it would be this album, because this has a lot of their hit tracks on it. Enter Sandman. I remember I used to jam this album a lot when I was a kid, and this is just how it became my favorite album, and it's just great. It's just great. Enter Sandman, Sabbath True, all these tracks, they're all just great. 12 phenomenal tracks that are a masterpiece, they're all just rock masterpieces. So if you're looking for some good ass just rock music, or you're trying to get into rock music, or this is like the first, like, hard rock sort of album that you're trying to get into, or I would recommend checking out Metallica or checking out the Black Album. And I really wish that they didn't go back when they did Load and Reload. I wish they sort of did a Black Album Part 2, because what would have been cool, I would have thought, is if they would have done a Black Album, sort of like a Black Album Part 2, but it was the Black Album sort of sound, but they mixed it with the sound of, like, Master of Puppets. That would have been really fun to listen to. Like, it had most of the elements of the Black Album, like the great guitar work and the commercial sort of sounding songs, but it also could have some heavy elements from, like, those earlier albums like Master of Puppets, instead of going like the blues sort of country or southern route that they went with Load and Reload, which I didn't really like. And then of course they went to Saint Anger, but that's like a whole nother story about the band. But Metallica, like, I get why they're a lot of people's favorite band, especially people that are into rock music, and why they're, like, my favorite bands, because they are one of my top favorite bands, and this is my top album of all time. And the Black Album is just, I don't know what else to say. It's just, every track on there is just a masterpiece. Of course, there are some tracks that are better than others, and There's other tracks that are not as good, but there's not a single bad track on this album, and it's just a perfect masterpiece. But that's pretty much all I can say about it. There's not really that much. I think I've yapped about all I can yap about it.
All right.
And the lyrics are great too. Like, uh, I read the lyrics to some of the songs, and they're great too. But I think that's all I can really say. I've yapped the yap.
You have yapped the yap. All right. Well, my number one is, I guess, kind of recent, I think. And this is this one's kind of made overseas. This one is none other than "Wank of Death" by MC Bushpig. This album is absolutely awful. This is not my number one, and this is by far one of the worst artists I've ever heard. Yeah, no. If I put this on my number one, shoot me, because it means I'm zombified, or there's something wrong with my brain, and I might, there's something, I belong in an asylum. There's something, if I say that, there's something wrong with my brain, completely.
And that's the thing about that album, is that I've listened to some of the beats, and they're actually good. But the
beats are good, but the vocals are some of the worst shit I've ever heard in my life.
Yes.
But and now, after playing that little bit of a joke on you guys, my number one is from 1999, and Jason, would you consider lyrical rap? Would you consider this album lyrical rap? You know what I'm talking about, right?
You're talking about the Eminem one, right?
No. I'm talking, of course, about 2000 BC by Cannabis.
Oh, I guess we could consider it. No, because it's battle rap. Because that's what he calls it. But it's like battle rap. But
it's basically lyrical battle rap, if that makes sense.
I guess you could say it's in that subgenre, or you could say it's in that sort of subgenre of lyrical rap. But it's not anything like Twista or like Tech Nine does with like chopper rap or anything like that. You wouldn't put it in that sort of category, but I guess you could technically say it is lyrical rap.
Yeah. Okay. Now, this is an album I can say nothing bad about. This is an album that is 99.9999999% perfect. I will explain.
And this was the album that started it all. The whole like showing us albums. This was the album that got us to this point. This is what started the whole show.
Yeah, I'll go a little bit into this. So me and Jason, sometimes we get on call. This is pretty much every night since it's summer right now. But what we do is Jason has an album, I do an album. Usually we play whichever album is longer first, which is usually mine. But we both listen to an album, and we, every couple of songs, we rank them, and we then we do a top 3 at the end. And the whole reason why this started is because really wanted to Cannabis. And I was like, you know what, we should do this. Like, you should show me an album, I show you an album. We were originally going to do one album per time we did it, but that changed, pretty quick. I think that was, the second time we ever did it, we decided to do 2, and we just kind of stuck to.
Yeah, it was the second time, because you really wanted to show me the Isham, you wanted to show me Boom Words from Hell, and then I really wanted to show you Operation Mindcrime. I think it was. I think that's how
they were those. But what we have here is 15 tracks with 2 skits. I'll go track by track for this one because this is a thing that needs to be talked about. We start with the sequel, which is a great opener, just straight bars, straight rapping, pretty great. Then we get the banger that is 2000 BC. This is just an awesome ass song.
Volume slider 4. Mic slash aux. Vertical slider. 0 media button. Group. Mac mode. Mic slash active. Global. Float button. Float. Minus slash 0 Stop media button. Open source media. Image. Scale. Zoom button. 72. Zoom out button. Video capture. Mac OS empty. Mac OS screen capture text media. Float button. Menu button. Open scene filters. Remove button. Add button. Empty. Scene text. Float button. Close. Float button. OBS full screen button. Minimize. Close button. Minimize full screen. OBS float button. Close button. Float button. Scene text. Empty column 1 selected. Scene text. Add button. Remove button. Open scene filters. Menu button. Float button. Media text. Mac OS empty. Mac OS video. Zoom out. 70. Zoom in. Scale. Image. Media. Open column. Stop. 0 slash minus. Float. Global. Active. Mac OS screen capture media. 0.0.0.0. Volume. Enable monitor. Enable monitor. Enable monitor. Stop streaming. Stop. No action available. Stop streaming button.
Probably my other absolute favorite track on the album, "Watch You Beef With" by Cannabis. Is a good one. This is like I recommend this track so damn much to the average rap fan. Then we have
Even I I don't listen to as much rap as Brody does, and I will say this is probably one of my favorite rap tracks.
Okay, I mean, yeah, it's really, really good. Then we have "I'll Bust 'Em, You Punish 'Em" featuring the rap legend, which is Rakim. I don't know much of his music, but this guy was this guy's really well known in the rap community. And then there's Magnificent, which is a great title. This is another banger. Then we have "Die Slow," which is okay, and Doomsday, which is track 9. This is alright. Then we have "Lost at Sea," which is another one of my favorite tracks. Then we have a track called "Fuck You." This is an Eminem diss. This is pretty alright. Then we have an interlude with a start that is going into a song. Then it's the song that has it's Cannabis, it's Razzcast, it's Killer Priest, and it's Corrupt, and they all are on this extra long song. I think it's 5-6 minutes actually. Then you have,
I do remember that because it was the song that it was really long, but it abruptly ended.
Yeah. This and then it's
Do you know why it abruptly ended?
no, I don't. I think it was just made like that, but it is kind of weird. And then you have the track that feels like the end of the album, and it's 100 bars, and it's literally a straight 4-minute freestyle, just endless, no completely, just 100 bars, just straight fire ass rhymes from end to finish with that one.
And it's just
a weird thing.
And it's just a great beat too. The beat is great.
Oh yeah, the beat on that is fucking awesome. Then you have one at the end that it's kind of odd, because the first half is it's a 1-minute track. The first I think 1.5. It's 1.5 minutes. The first minute is an acapella thing, which is pretty nice. I like that. And then there's I guess it might be a track that he just didn't finish for the album, because it was a minute-long rap verse with a beat. The beat was alright. I just feel like this is something that just feels kind of extra, it didn't need to be there, but I'm not complaining. It wasn't bad. I like the acapella thing. So yeah, this is my number 1 album. This is a 15-track album from 1999 called 2000 BC, and if you like rap and you like hardcore rap, I can't recommend this one enough. I mean, a lot of my stuff on here is for horrorcore fans, but this is something I can just genuinely say all rap fans who who just don't listen to radio rap, not just people oh yeah, I like rap, but it's either that garbage from our garbage new rap, or it's rap that plays on the radio. So if you're not that person,
I only listen to Drake.
I listen to Drake, and it's my favorite one, the one where he's going after underage people. But no, if you're not those people, you know who you are. If you're not those people, then and you like actual rap and what it's supposed to be, and you don't say, oh, they're just words, I can't recommend this enough. There's no singing. It's not Taylor Swift. It's not for blue.
Or it doesn't have auto tune.
Like, it doesn't have auto tune. It's not for it. It's not inclusive. It's not It's very auto tunist. I'll make fun of you new age Gen Zers for the rest of my life.
Oh yeah, shoot, I forgot another rap album that I wanted to put in my honorable mentions was "Running Off at the Mouth" by Twista,
Yeah,
which is a lyrical rap album.
I think it's the only thing to date. Actually, no. It's one of the two things to date that Jason has ever shown me that was rap.
Yeah, because I just showed you something that today that was rap.
Yeah, it was, and it was really good.
But yeah, oh yeah, I was gonna ask because I never asked. Did you have anything you wanted to say about the Metallica album?
Yeah. I mean, Enter Sandman is an age-old classic that is just it's an all-timer. Same with Sad But True, and I mean.
And Wherever I May Roam, and The Unforgiven, and Nothing Else Matters.
I mean, I don't feel like I have any issues with that album. Nothing. I mean, that's just a good listen.
It's just great for any rock fan, or even any music fan.
Right. I mean, I'm not even a rock fan, not much anyway, but that album, or just Metallica in general, I am a Metallica.
Yeah. I think even people that aren't, I do agree with that, because even people that aren't rock fans, like, they know who Metallica is, even if they are not super into every album, like, they know Metallica, and they know one or two songs, and they would probably like this album.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was our top 10 album list.
If you've heard any of mine, or you like them, put it in Jason's comments so he can tell me, because I'm terrible at reading shit.
Yeah. And if you liked any of the albums that I had to talk about, which some of them were stuff that, some of it was stuff that I did talk about in my original video, but others were sort of changed, or they were completely different. But if you liked any of the albums, go check them out, and let me know what you thought of the list in the comments, because, well, afterwards it'll be the comments and won't be the live chat, because I'll be all in the stream. But yeah.
Yeah. So guys, I mean,
but I thought this was a pretty good birthday stream.
Birthday stream?
Yeah, it was a birthday stream. You that's what it was. I thought I told you this at right before the stream started.
Is it your birthday, man?
Yeah, you never do that?
No, me. Happy birthday, dude.
Yeah, thanks, dude. I thought I told you this during lunch, or when we talked before.
No, you didn't tell me it was your birthday, man.
I thought you just knew because I mentioned birthday stream, and then
I mean, that didn't register in my mind.
I guess not. Knowing you.
Well, okay, everybody say happy birthday to Jason in the comments, or I'm gonna make you all listen to MC Butchcake for 25 hours.
Yeah, and if you don't, my punishment is I'm gonna make you listen to Nightmares of the Decomposed by 6 Feet Under.
Yeah, you're gonna have to listen to nothing but 6 Feet Under and MC Butchcake for the next month. Only that, and you have to listen to it non-stop. You can't break. You
Yeah.
can't say happy birthday.
Yeah, and you're not going to like doing that.
No, you're not. That's some serious punishment. Like, they should start using that as a punishment for interrogation. Like, if they have criminals in there, it's like, you're gonna listen to MC Pushpig, or you're gonna tell us. You're gonna tell us, or you're gonna listen to this garbage music. No, please, I don't want to do that. I did it. I totally did it. You can put me in jail now.
You know, there was actually, I remember actually hearing this somewhere. There was someone that tried to use music as criminal interrogation. It was actually a Metallica song. They tried to play Inner Sandman on a loop to try to get someone to like confess to their crimes. They actually did that.
That's funny, actually. They should have picked a worse song, though.
Like, why Inner Sandman? I feel like someone would like I would be jamming to it, even though it would be on a loop. Like, I would still after 10 times, yeah, it would probably get old, but it'll be a song that I could still listen to.
Right. No, I think a like a 95-hour loop of MC Bush Pig's album length.
Or Nightmares of the Decomposed by 6 Feet Under.
Yeah, no. You have to listen to a 100-hour loop of both of them. Maybe a 200-hour.
Yeah, but
That'll ruin any hardened criminal's demeanor.
but dude, yeah, I felt like, dude, I literally felt like the whole friend group knew that was my birthday.
Yeah, no, I would have told you happy birthday. I would have made that a bigger. I would have been saying happy birthday and shit, but I didn't know. I didn't know.
Didn't know.
I didn't know.
And I guess, cause I literally thought like, oh, I told you birthday stream and you wouldn't know what I was talking about too. And I guess it didn't register.
I just thought you decided to do a live stream.
No, I literally did this because it was like my birthday stream, and I was like, oh, I should have you come on, and so we could talk about our 10 albums.
Well, actually, I would like to point out to the viewers that doing the top 10 albums list was my idea, and I'm glad that we did this, and I'm pretty sure Jason is too.
Yeah, I'm glad that we did it.
Yeah. Now, I don't know what Jason has plans for the wrap up, but I'd just like to, get this out to the viewers of this stream. My channel, House of 1,000 Films, is gonna be up soon. Over there, we're gonna be doing some cool shit. I'll be doing some regular movie reviews, just singular movie reviews. I'm gonna be doing box set overviews. Like doing compilation videos of all the movies I review from certain box sets. We're gonna be playing some games over there. We're gonna be doing the wheel, which is where I write some braille names on the wheel and I spin it, and whichever one it lands on is what we watch. We'll do that a couple of times, and it's gonna be like a fun thing. We're gonna do movie Jenga. That goes how you think it is. You're gonna, basically pull out movies until something falls, and we're gonna have to pick, and whoever whoever makes it fall has to watch the movies with me. And it's just we're gonna be doing fun shit over there. Come hang out. Come talk about crappy movies. Come listen. We do album reviews. Come hang out and just get a little more retarded every second. Just have some fun being stupid and goofy and just hang out.
Yep, get retarded.
Yes.
Cannabis right there.
Hell yeah.
But
although it's not off the 2000 BC album, it's from Cannabis.
yes, it's from the self-titled, but still, it's a good song.
Yeah, it is.
But before you get the channel up, you got to learn how to use some technology.
Or my mom does, because she's the help. I do all the things that make the channel what it is, but my mom she does all the channel managing and shit.
Yeah. She's got to figure out how to manage YouTube.
She can barely figure out how to manage me. She's like, oh God, what are we doing today? But we'll make it. We will be having some fun over there. Continue to support my friend Jason. He is he's awesome and does cool music. Listen to his music; it's fire. He's doing the reality EP.
Yep. I announced that in my What's Next video. So when that comes out, there's gonna be some acid rap mixed with rock, and it's gonna be some cool ass shit.
Yeah, so I have been the man of 1,000 films. This has been Jason McDaniel.
And I'm just gonna wrap this up by saying, look out for my next video. It'll probably be coming out sometime tomorrow, most likely. But I'm gonna be recording a video on the difference between interludes, intro tracks, skits, and pretty much sort of like all the terms that we talked about on this stream when we were mentioning mentioning them in our album ranking. But I'm just gonna be basically making a whole video going through the technical sort of aspects of what those terms actually mean, and that's gonna be a video in itself. And then I'll also have some other videos planned where I'm gonna be doing some other things as well, everything about music. So just stay tuned for that. And I might also give you a sneak peek of the stuff that I'm working on for the reality EP. That might also be coming out in, I would say, maybe the next 2 weeks to a month. And so be on the lookout for that. And I think that's all I have right now.
And if you want, I'll happily come back for any other videos.
Yep. Once I get to 100 CDs, I'm gonna do that CD collection video.
Which also was something I came up with.
Yeah, that was Brody's idea. But I think that's it for now. And so all I'm gonna say is I hope you enjoyed the album ranking. Like the video, give it a like if you like. Leave a comment and let me know if you have a top 10 album list. Leave a comment on this video and let me know what your top 10 albums are. Or let me know if you liked any of the albums that we talked about today. And eventually I'm going to figure out how to get FaceTime routed through my laptop, so next time when I stream, I can actually have the sound more direct, more clear, and have the FaceTime audio and possibly the video too routed through to my desktop, because I don't know why it's routing all the other desktop audio, but it's not routing FaceTime, which is very weird, which I'm not going to go into the whole technical reasons of that right now. I might make that as another video on my second channel. That might be a video that I might do. But I think I have to find a third-party plugin or something like that. But that's a time for a different day. But I hope you all enjoyed this live stream. Like the video, leave a comment, let me know what your favorite albums are. And I will see you guys in the next video. This is Jason McDaniel, signing out. Bye.
Stop streaming button.
Bye.
Dialogue. No button.